Can't see shit in this group, dude. Fucking Taurens everywhere. Good lord, dude, we are fucking crushing it on damage. Might help the kingdom. So learning survival. Slingshot in there for range. Oh, there's a slingshot. I actually did not know that. Thank you for that information. And it works for it doesn't count as like a ranged weapon. Dude, I seriously ran this place so many times to try and get those on my priest. Bundle 6, striking home scenes, which one? 21 time use slings. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it's like a consumable. It's handy. Oh, it's actually probably an Atlas loot. Yeah, they got survival in there now. Oh, here it is. 30 skill. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'm actually going to do that. It's handy. I'm just here killing stuff for loot. Most of us are new. Um, the melon seeds. Where do you get the melon? I haven't ever really messed with 'cause they have like gardening and stuff too, don't they? Yeah, they got gardening and all. I haven't messed with survival really or shit, gardening or any of that. On to the west. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So is it just like you know, like with mining or whatever, that you just run around and there's rare, or there's a chance of the plants spawning and you just harvest them? Um, I mean, I can use library. Honestly, I don't know about at 34 though. Those mobs would still be crushing me, I think, at 34. Oh, I got you. So they kind of put them in places where they already were in the game. That's kind of cool. I was curious how the gardening thing worked, because I didn't know if it was like a like if you would plant stuff, but I didn't see how that would actually go in classic WoW. The auto mod's been pretty good lately about getting those, but they still get through sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna get survival just for that slingshot. I was wondering what they were gonna do with it since they nerfed the tents. I was like, well, why would people? Because that was the only thing I ever saw people use. They said they're going to be adding stuff that like assists other professions. I don't really know what that means, but
Tell me everything.
no, the real people are the ones selling art. They get me sometimes, especially especially lately. They've started to get a little more sophisticated with how they go about things. But I can usually always tell when it's somebody that's trying to sell some art. I haven't seen. Did something happen? I haven't heard anything of it. I know they're trying to go after him. Yeah, do that, because I'm curious. I saw somebody that all I saw was someone saying is Turtle Wow Jover. uh, but they say that every time like the servers are going down, so That would be a bummer, though. This is, other than like Adrelon and Monsters and Memories, which aren't even out, you know, technically. This is really the only MMO that I like playing. Right. Yeah, well, it's always funny because you can tell one of the big tells for me. Oh no, one of the big tells for me is that they'll come in to a stream of like WoW or like, you know, if I'm streaming Diablo 2 or something, very well-known games, and they'll be like, "Oh, what game is this? What other games do you like playing?" And they just have like these few questions that they always ask. And I know that eventually they're going to say, like, you know, do you know Asmongold? Do you know that you can get viewers like that if you improve your banner art? I'm like, oh. But there was one dude that was like, yeah, I would stick around. I really want to watch, but you just don't have that much art on your stream. And I'm like, oh, well, I bet you have the solution for me, don't you? Oh, yeah. Star Citizen, dude. That's one that I really... I get the controversy around it and stuff, but I really hope that what Chris Roberts laid out for the vision of it actually ends up happening. Which, I mean, it's still around, so I mean, clearly he's not like scamming. Which I never thought he was anyway, because he's been around since like the Ultima games were still coming out. He was working on games like that. Buy the cheapest package. Yeah, okay, that was the only thing to me where I was kind of like, maybe there's something going on with it, because the selling the plane, or not, the ships for like insane amounts of money, and even having it to where like you couldn't even look at some of the ships in the shop unless you had paid enough buying other ships first. Like you're at a Lambo dealership or whatever. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. They would have like limited edition or while supplies last, and it's like, dude, what do you mean? While supplies last. What supplies? I get they're trying to do something big, so they need a lot of money, but I figured they would just be more open about that. Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those things where I get why they have to do it. It's just, I think it would look better if they were just more open about, hey, this is how we have to finance the game. You know, we're wanting to do something big. We're not under a big publisher or whatever. So the only way that we can raise the money to do the big things we want to do is by doing this. I think that would just be more of an honest way to go about it. Which is not that I mean, you know, if you want the ship and you're willing to pay the price for it, that's nobody's business but yours and theirs. I feel like that's, honestly, that right there, not only with Star Citizen, but that has been a lot of indie projects, but a lot of MMO projects have ended up falling apart because of that scope creep. They wanted to do all this stuff, but they wanted to do all this stuff before they launched instead of getting a game out there and adding to it later. I would say that was probably the main thing behind Ashes of Creation, but that might have just been fraud, you know? We'll see in the court proceedings if that's the case. How far along are they? Like, because I know the original, promises were like, we're going to have dozens or hundreds of planets, dozens of systems, maybe. Oh, shit, he rolled 97. I was interested in it because it's a fantasy MMO, so I wanted more of those, but yeah, I hadn't bought it or anything. Never played it. Oh, okay. So that, yeah, they're making good progress. It seems like with games like that, it's really rare that you get good information because people will just either be 100% negatively biased or 100%, positively biased for it. Yeah, I'd be willing to give it a try. I was really hoping for a rattle cage spawn. Looks like a free fly is happening right now. If I have time this weekend, I might actually try it, depending on what's going on with Monsters and Memories. Oh, nice. So they're running for like 2 weeks. That's cool. I'll definitely try it then, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as I'd imagine so, but I'm used to doing play tests and stuff, so I'm not, I don't usually bash games for that kind of stuff, like if the servers are just getting overrun and stuff like that. I mean, it just kind of comes with the territory. Oh, it's so funny. He accidentally pulled that pack last time. Spent too much money on the game. Did they have much of the... Oh shit, should I have needed that? I should have needed that. I like getting all the plans for crafting, even if I'm not really going to use it. But did they have much of the like sandbox, first-person shooter type elements in the game yet? I know I've seen some footage, but it was like I didn't know if that was I didn't know if that was on like the actual main servers or if people were showing beta stuff or what. Did we not get any? What are the odds of that? I don't think I've ever went 2 or 3 runs here without seeing a rare. Yeah, that's where most of my interest is. I've never been one much into like, you know, flight games, what do you call them? Not Wing Commander, that's what's his name's game? That's Chris Roberts' old game, Wing Commander. There's a game, one of my friends played it all the time. He had like the whole setup, you know what I mean, where he's like in a cockpit while he's playing. It looked pretty fun. I just never really got like Ace Combat. Is that what it was? Played one where he was like fighting. He was over Stalingrad, so he was like Russians against the Germans in World War II. Ooh, nice. Green Iron Gauntlets. Yeah, usually when I come to a graveyard, I like farming the actual graveyard up there. Because if you just keep going around clearing out all the elites, they'll keep respawning, and every time they have a chance at being a rare. Oh shit. I can't see shit. We're good. I don't think this guy even I don't think he melee attacks. There it is. That's what kept dropping last time when I was trying to get the gloves for my priest. Good Lord. If you get a ground vehicle loaded into the ship, fly out to the target location, and land a distance away for the AA guns don't take me out. Dude, that's alright. That's pretty cool. Crazy kids. Oh. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna log off for a little bit. I'm gonna read that article you linked because I'm curious what the hell is going on. I really hope this turtle wow is not actually in danger. If it's a thing of them, I don't know, for some reason I thought they couldn't really have legal action against them because of where they're at, but who knows? Blizzard has a lot of reach. But I'm gonna take a break and grab some food, and then I'm probably gonna play Monsters and Memories for a little while. Just got Spirit of the Wolf and stuff on the Shaman. I want to start a melee character. I don't know if I'll be doing that this weekend or not. Oh yeah, I haven't in a long time. I was talking about Monsters and Memories, which is basically new EQ. It's Unity Engine EQ is basically what it is. Yeah, I played on Project 99 Red PvP server. I had a character on blue. I don't think I got far. Uh, and then either green or teal. I mix up the two. I don't even know if they might have rolled them into one by now. I'm not really sure. It's been a while. I know I played on that one though, the newer PvE server. But most of my time playing was on red. Like right when Velius came out and stuff, the server was actually popular, which was cool. Like there was on a weekend, like Friday, Saturday night, there'd be like 500-600 people on, which for EverQuest PvP, it's not a bad number. They merged it, yeah. I think that was the plan originally. They just had so many people, they had so many people playing that they had to come up with a temporary second server. Then I played on Corn for a while. think I got to like the 30s or 40s on Quorum, on Shadow Knight maybe. And I played some of the TLPs and stuff that the official EQ did, but I never really liked the TLPs as much. I preferred the, you know, older client. $3,000. Jeez. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's not gambling, so it's better than that. And it, you know, people know what they're getting. They're making the choice to buy it. But good God. That is a steep price for pixels in a game that might shut down eventually, a live service game that might shut down. But I mean, you know, people pay that kind of money for stuff in not microtransactions, in RMT, for games that aren't even supposed to have RMT. Like, I've heard of some insane prices being paid, especially in PvP games where it gives you like an edge. I've heard of some insane prices people have paid for stuff. So at least it's not gambling, and it's going towards the development of the game. So it's kind of like donating to the project, but you get something out of it, I guess. Lost Dungeons of Norath. I never played on live EQ. I had a brother, he's 10 years older than me. And so in 99, I would have been like 5. And around like 99 or 2000, he was playing EQ a lot. Maybe a little bit. But I used to, like, you know, sit behind him and watch him play EverQuest all the time. So then, WoW was my first MMO that I played, where like I had my own account and was playing the game and stuff. And then once Cataclysm came out, I quit WoW because it fucking sucked. And I was doing arenas and stuff and raiding, and I was having fun, but I made an alt with, I think it was my ex, like one of my girlfriends or something like that. She was trying the game, and for whatever reason, I made a new character during Cataclysm and started leveling, and that's when it hit me like, oh, dude, this actually sucks now. Yeah, I didn't stick around for Mist. I wasn't there by then. Played like I started the last few months of Vanilla. Wasn't able to hit max level before Burning Crusade came out, and then most of my most like hardcore days playing WoW were during Burning Crusade. Main to tanking, nice. Yeah, I was a hunter on Shattered Halls US. I was an orc hunter. And then I also had a second account on Shattered Halls. I was a human paladin. I was mostly ret, but I would jump around sometimes. But back in those days, I didn't really care about PvE at all. I just PvP'd all the time. I just wanted to do arena, which was cool. I got Duelist Season 2. I got Rival one season, and I got Duelist another. Yeah, it was Season 2 I got Duelist. Playing Survival Hunter Resto Druid, which was a really fun comp. We would just manage rain and wait for the other team to, because it was nothing but Resto Druid Warrior. So we'd just wait until we'd make him burn his innervate, and then I'd keep Viper's thing until he ran out of mana, and then we'd be able to kill him. We won like considerable portion of our matches from people just leaving, because the match would go on for so long. Right, the release of Burning Crusade, yeah, that was a good time, dude. Oh, but anyway, yeah. So once Cataclysm came out, I, you know, played for a while, made the new character, was playing through, and I was like, dude, the game's just not like this. Isn't WoW anymore. It's something else. So I quit, and I wanted an MMO, and I kept thinking like there was nothing at that time, and I just had like a memory, like an image in my head of my brother following his friend who was a dwarf cleric, and they were running around in Velius, I guess. It had to be Velius because they were like going over like snowy hills and stuff. And I just had that memory like come back. And I was like, dude, EverQuest. I wonder if that's still around. So I played live EverQuest in like 2012 or 2013 for about 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, there's nobody here. But that was because I was trying to go. I wanted to play in the zones I remembered seeing, like starting an ogre and running around in Ogok, because I remember it looked like the Flintstones or whatever. And then I asked on the forums, hey, is there any server where people are still in the old world zones? And they told me about Project 99. And then I went there, saw they had a PvP server that was in Classic era, because the blue server was in Canark at that time. And so I rolled on the PvP server, not thinking anything of it. I'd never played EQ. Made a paladin, and learned very quickly that EverQuest is one of the most fucking degenerate. EverQuest PvP is one of the most degenerate, like, it's like Vietnam sometimes. You gotta just constantly be wary of who's in the zone with you. You gotta remember names. And being a melee with no gear, no help, was fucking rough. The whole first like half a year I was playing was nothing but me trying to find solo spots, and then a halfling druid or a gnome enchanter showing up and being able to land every CC that they wanted on me because I didn't have gear for magic resist. But then I ended up going on the wiki and I found every piece of magic resist gear that I could find, and eventually started getting the hang of it. I played on that server for like fucking 7 years. 6 years or something. Yeah, there was nobody. Like, I ran around doing /who. I made a bunch of characters on live, going to each of the starter zones. And I even looked and I found the most populated server, which was not very populated. Didn't see a single person, but I didn't know about plane of knowledge and all that shit. And I kept opting out of the new tutorial thing. Oh no, they did. Yeah, like I said, it was druids and then enchanters, and enchanters would charm. And it would land every fucking time. Blind. Landing blind is knowing what I know now about how little, like in EverQuest, if you probably get like 25 magic resist, blind will never land on you. But I had none, so everything landed. Yeah, I mean, it would happen. I mainly stuck to, since I was a paladin, I mainly stuck to outdoor zones and undead zones and places that were out of the way. Like, I wouldn't go to Unrest, I would go to Najina. and kill like the undead and skeletons there. Or I'd go. I liked Befallen a lot. That was where I got my first magic weapon in Befallen. So I could, I had IVU, so I could move around in those a little bit better. But there was definitely a few times where I just had to plead with somebody to come help me get my corpse. Ranger was actually good in PvP. I know they get a lot of shit in, classic EverQuest or whatever, but in PvP they're actually not bad. Because, I mean, you have Snare, which is way more likely to land on somebody than Root. Yeah, snare kiting. Yeah, it was just like all the stuff you have to learn about classic EverQuest anyway. There's just, there's a whole book of things that you need to learn. And then with PvP, it was like you needed to learn, as far as like how stuff worked, you needed to learn everything twice because there was a PvE way it worked and a PvP way it worked. So like most spells with CC elements, there was only very few you could actually get to land if the person had any resistance at all. So there was like this whole, I don't know, I would spend like probably equal parts time in game and looking at the wiki, just trying to figure out, all right, what's the resist type for this spell? Does it have a negative modifier? Because sometimes it'll be like, this is a magic type spell, which anything magic based generally didn't land on people. But some of them would be like, this is magic, but it has a negative 150 modifier to their magic resist, so it actually would land. And it was really, I don't know, you just had to be so specific, going through very thorough, going through and looking at everything, so you knew not just what you could do to somebody, but what everybody could do to you. I think, what was it called? Was it Wind Force or something? There was one particular bow during the classic Canark, maybe even Velius era, that was kind of the peak. There was one that had a crazy range. I remember that. I'm on the wiki now. Yeah, I remember, like, because obviously getting gear and stuff is a nightmare if you're a solo melee, especially one that doesn't know the game. Um, I remember finally finding the Deepwater Harpoon quest for Paladins, and I spent probably every day of a month just trying to get everything I needed for that quest. Ended up finding somebody to help me because the place you got to go has like specters, and I was like level 20. And specters are like 40. But I ended up finding somebody that would help me with them, and he like kited them away while I did the quest. Then I was finally able to fight back. Let's see, where's the... Oh, there it is. I want to say it's Wind Striker. That's what it's called, not Wind Force. Wind Striker. I think this might be the one that had the crazy range on it. Let's see, so a regular... Oh, then there's also the Rain Caller. I'm not sure when that one was added. Alright, so most of the bows have a range of 100. Well, actually, here's a long bow. Let me see what this has. Yeah, so the long bow range is 100. The wind striker range was 200. So you had double range with that bow. I assume that was the long bow because a lot of them are the short bows and recurve bows and stuff are 60 or 70, but the long bow is 100. Let's see, I'm trying to find one that sounds like it's a good one. But it's also hard to tell which ones are new, which ones are old. Because I know eventually they started adding some that were equivalent to it, but during Classic era, I think that was the only one. Pretty sure. Oh, silk. Silk. See, 75. 75. Oh, it's from Kale. So later on, they started having ranges like over 100. Like that one was 180. The short bow has a range of 50. But yeah, it also, so the main reason why it was good was it had a proc on it called Whirlwind, which was 100 damage nuke, and it would cause them to have a spinny stun, and it was unresistible. And you could do it from 200 distance units. I don't know what it measures, but from 200 away. Yeah, I think that was what it was too, because I mean, just going from the classic world to Canark, which came out like 6 months later, you can tell just how much better, how much more efficient they got with the engine. Like they were able to make zones that were triple the size of what they were before and have it run basically on the same hardware. And also, they came out with the new UI and stuff because originally you had that stone UI that took up, you know, a third of the screen or whatever it was. And your play window was only that small window in the center. And I think they got rid of that. If not at Canark, they got rid of that during like Velius. Bro, you want to hear something crazy? I downloaded it and I played that with that UI. With like the fucking chat is actually a scroll. Classic, dude. I don't know. Immersion. I was playing like it was 99. Yeah, that was like a meme in my guild on it. There, so they're like, you chose to start EverQuest on a PvP server alone as a melee with the old school fucking stone UI playing first person only. Yes, I did. And I do it again too, so it was very fun. That UI had character. I mean, I understand that from like a usability perspective, it was not as good. but the plain the Velius UI that was just like everything looked like this chat right here, where it was just kind of like a translucent black, and everything was just translucent black squares. There was no character. With the old school UI, you had like that. It was like a mirror whenever you'd open up your inventory, and it was like a 3D mirror of your character, so you could see what you look like. Just say you like being punished. Nah, I just I liked old school games and stuff, so that UI was actually really uh it wasn't that cumbersome for me because most of the games I played had UIs like that. And honestly, I mean, the way I looked at it was as long as I'm able to play with it. I mean, shit, I used to play Counter Strike with one of the trackball mice like this. People thought I was crazy for that, but that was just because it was all I had. Not really that wasn't a choice, but I'm used to using odd. I'm used to playing games with odd setups and stuff, so it didn't bother me too much. Shit, I was just playing Ravenloft like 2, 3 weeks ago, and that game pretty much is set up just like that. It's honestly a more rudimentary way, more rudimentary version of like the EverQuest old school UI. All right, I'm gonna hop off here for a minute. I'm gonna get some pizza. I'm hungry, but I am gonna play Monster Memories, and I'm gonna look into trying Star Citizen. I'm interested in it now. It was always one of those games where I was like, yeah, once it's near release, I'll start thinking about it because I had too many games that were nowhere near release that I was keeping up with, and it got to be too much. So I was like, I'm just gonna forget about them. It seems to go by faster when you're not thinking about it. So I kind of put it on the back burner mentally. Guilds running Kara, nice. Is that on Burning Crusade, or are you talking about on Turtle WoW? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I gotta look into that too. That kind of stressed me out, dude. I fucking hope they don't shut Turtle WoW down. That'd be the worst string of bad luck. First fucking hero's journey. Well, first it was Nostalrius. I was playing Nostalrius and it got shut down. I think that if anything, we might just have to eventually do some bullshit to connect to the game to make it to where it's not like legally liable from the US to where they can say, oh, you can't access it from there, but make it to where it's kind of easy to actually do it. Yeah, a VPN or something. Because I know some servers have done that to avoid any kind of legal bullshit, but we'll see. All right, dude. I'll see you in a little bit if you're not raiding. Good luck tonight on drops. Hopefully you win them all.